Shares, also referred to as stocks, represent units of ownership in a company. When you buy shares of a company, you're essentially buying a piece of that company. The total number of shares a company issues is known as its capital stock or equity. Owning shares offers you mainly three benefits. 1. If company does well, share price goes up. At that time, you can sell your shares for a profit. 2. Periodically, company may share some profits with you. That is called dividend. 3. Owning shares often comes with voting rights on certain company matters, such as the election of the board of directors. Now let's talk about preference shares. Preference shares, also known as preferred stock, are a special class of stock that offers certain advantages such as prioritized dividends and potential repayment claims, but shareholders do not have voting rights. Here are some key features of preference shares. First, priority dividends. Preference shareholders receive dividends before common shareholders if a company declares them. The dividend amount is usually fixed, but some preference shares have dividends that can fluctuate. Second, limited voting rights or no voting rights at all. Preference shareholders typically do not have voting rights on company matters, such as the election of directors or approval of mergers and acquisitions. This is in contrast to common shareholders, who typically have voting rights. Third, higher claim on assets and liquidation. If a company goes bankrupt and liquidates its assets, preference shareholders have a higher claim on the company's assets than common shareholders. This means that preference shareholders are more likely to get some of their investment back than common shareholders. Here are some reasons why an investor might choose to buy preference shares. 1. Stable income. The fixed dividend payments on preference shares can provide a stable stream of income for investors. 2. Reduced risk. The priority claim on assets and liquidation can reduce the risk of an investment in preference shares compared to an investment in common shares. Here are some things to consider before investing in preference shares. First, limited upside potential. The fixed dividend payments on preference shares may not keep pace with inflation, and the price of preference shares may not appreciate as much as the price of common shares if a company's business grows. Second, lack of voting rights. Preference shareholders typically do not have voting rights, which means they do not have a say in how the company is run. Overall, preference shares can be a good investment for investors who are looking for a stable stream of income and a reduced level of risk. However, it is important to consider the limitations of preference shares before investing in them. If you want to read about shares, go through the link in the description and download the PDF. If you think this video is helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel.